We are live.
Get ready, get ready. You got 2 minutes to go get your sweet tea, your Coke, your popcorn, your pencil, your paper.
Whatever it is that you may need tonight. Tracy said earlier, you might need to get some popcorn along with your piece of paper and your pen because it's going to be, as we always say, real, raw, and relevant. How you doing tonight?
I'm great.
Are you ready?
What were you saying?
Go from your page.
Okay.
So, we are going to start sharing right now.
Inbox us. We'll be taking your questions live. We'll be reading comments. So make sure you're on the My Relationship Movement Facebook page because we're going to take a pause this evening so that we can take your questions. Some of you guys have already emailed us some questions. So we're excited about addressing those tonight. So make sure that you got your friends, your family, your cousins, your uncles, mamas, nephew, brother who got an issue. Make sure they're on. Hit that share button. Make sure that they're on tonight because we want to see you guys tonight.
Yes, yes, yes. And we were so excited. Those of you all that joined us last Thursday was phenomenal. And so we are excited about tonight. So as you guys come on, we're coming on a little earlier tonight to give you guys time to remember, hey, we got to go live. I'm sharing it on my page right now.
Oh, let me do that while we're talking.
And you can jump back and forth. Hey, good evening, everybody. I figured I might as well say something, too, while they're winding up and getting their videos ready. We appreciate the support. I promise you we do not take that for granted. Again, as we always say, we're not trying to make an impression.
Right.
We're trying to make an impact. And I'm just grateful to God to have such a great team of people with Dr. Tracy and Miss Elisa, two brilliant brains. And I am grateful for having some sharp people who always help make things happen.
Yep.
Y'all are good.
We have something special tonight, so you see us in a little preparation, so give us a second. We are going to make sure that we're able to talk directly to you guys, some things that you're going to be saying. We want to make sure that we can see it and interact because we're going to have a very, very special Q&A segment at the end, towards the end of tonight's segment, and so we don't want to miss anything.
Y'all come on. Share, share, share. Whatever you do. This is going to be a phenomenal one again. Please share.
I'll go to our page and...
Let's see what we can make happen here with this thing here being stuck there, girl.
there we go. I'm going to have to delete your video.
That's fine.
Because it showed up too late.
Okay.
There we go.
We're coming.
I see you guys coming on. I'm excited. Share, share, share. Just hit that button at the bottom of your screen and go ahead and share it. We want to make sure we have as many people on tonight as we can because this might be one of the times where you're going to want to have a discussion about this afterwards. So tag your girlfriends or share it on your page and text them and say, hey, go on my page and make sure that you watch tonight because we're going to have some dialogue about this later.
Absolutely.
Is this something that people should really be having some healthy dialogue anyway about soul ties? And because I know, as people, we're secretive and we're loners and we don't really like to put ourselves out there, but is this something that we need to be sharing with our friends, having these conversations?
Absolutely, because what ends up happening is we don't call everything a soul tie. When we think of soul tie, we always go spiritual. But soul ties are, it covers a lot.
That's right.
And actually tonight we're going to cover part 2 of it.
That's
because
right.
Last week we dealt with the spirituality.
We did.
Tonight we're going to take another look at soul ties in a different way.
In a different way. And you know what? It's not going to be what you guys think. I think some of these things are going to surprise you. And for those of you all that text, email, direct messaged, inbox, or even put in the comments, I asked the question. We're going to talk about it later. And you guys gave some phenomenal responses. And a lot of you all inboxed me as well and inboxed us and said, I have some questions and can you guys address it? Guess what? Tonight we're going to be addressing the people.
Is it.
This is it. We're going to wait a couple more minutes, let you guys get situated, get on.
And there's a feature, you can now invite other people to watch with you. So go ahead and invite other people to watch with you because I would love to have you guys on.
Certainly, but yeah. This is still running.
And even tonight, after we go off, if you've got a question, please inbox us. We do read all of our inboxes that come in. We read our emails, we read our comments. And even if you have questions or ideas for another topic that you'd like for us to discuss, please send that as well. We take all of that into consideration because we're doing this for you guys.
That's right.
We try to be transparent and truthful, and we try to give you information that's transferable. So whatever you have, whatever's going on in your lives, we guarantee we probably lived through it as well. So we want to make sure that we're addressing your needs as well. So if you ever have a topic that you want us to discuss, just inbox us.
That's right. That's right. And again, those of you all that didn't come on last week, when we introduced Unhealthy Soul Ties Part 1, you're going to want to go on YouTube and go stay right here on the My Relationship Movement page and go and find that video. I promise you, we hit some things and we're going to, basically do a refresher tonight. However, there were some things we said last week that this one right here was off the chain. So believe me, you guys are going to...
I'm waiting.
You're going to want to go. He's sitting calm and cool,
calm
but
and waiting.
I'm telling you, we got some things he's going to put out there, some
Right.
questions that some men gave some feedback, and we're going to put some stuff out there. And so, the other thing, the reason I think this is good is because a lot of people are caught up in soul ties,
Right.
but
And
nobody
don't
would know.
realize it.
Two things, they don't even realize it. You think that what's going on is, I'm just in a difficult relationship. I said earlier in a post that
Oh wait, Elisa, they say it's complicated.
Oh yeah. So if it's complicated, it could be a soul tie. But that's good.
That's it.
We were talking and we were saying, there are a lot of people. How do you recognize? And we haven't gotten into it. This is kind of our intro. How do you recognize an unhealthy soul tie? Well, I was saying, if you're the other person, you get me, the other person, and you're talking about your relationship. What relationship? It's not a relationship. Like you're not in the relationship.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of times, we die because we don't know. And if you want to translate that biblical, people perish from the lack of knowledge.
Right.
And so I'm just going to say you die when you don't know.
Right.
And so I want us, and I say us because I say this all the time, we don't have any judgment to throw.
Mm-mm.
We are human. We struggle with things. We deal with things. There are things daily that we have to check our own selves about. And so when we're talking about this, we're always saying we because we are human and all of us have flaws. You better believe me, not one person sitting here is perfect or trying to be. So tonight we're putting
Please
some
share
stuff
it.
out
We're going to
there.
get started in a second. We want you to really share this video. It's going to be extremely interesting tonight. It's going to get hot up in here. And we're ready. We are ready. Please show some love before we get started.
Yeah, and I need to
show
see
some
y'all.
love.
I need to see you all sharing this video because I want to make sure we're reaching as many people as we
It takes
can.
a second to hit share. And they got a new, Facebook has a new icon down there. It's that purple one, looks like a flower. It says thankful. So when you hit it, it means thankful.
Thanks for the love. I see you. Thank you, guys. Alrighty, so we're gonna get started. I'm being mindful as you guys are sharing, and I know you are. A lot of people that are coming over. We've been having a lot of new people that have joined us. So if you all are watching for the first time, or if you just started coming, thank you so much. We're gonna take a second and just introduce ourselves. We are the My Relationship Movement team, and My Relationship Movement is geared towards fostering healthy relationships. Number one, the relationship with yourself, so that you can have a healthy relationship with other people. And I call us the specialists. I always say, listen, we're not experts. Everybody tries to be an expert on something, and that means they know everything it is to know about that thing. That is not what we say we are. We say that we are specialists because either in our own profession or in what we do on a day-to-day basis or based on what we've been through, listen, we have some knowledge and some wisdom about some very powerful things. And so I'm Elisa Lachelle. I am the empowerment specialist, and my job is always going to help you to motivate yourself, to love yourself better, to treat yourself better, to encourage yourself.
My name is Lawrence Knighton. I am the Enlightenment Specialist, and my job is to help bring light to that dark situation that you're in denial about. And my job is also help enlighten us to really help have healthier relationships. That's really
right.
the gist of it.
That's good.
And I'm Tracy Knighton, Dr. T. I'm here to equip you to live the best life that you can live. Once you've been enlightened, once you've been empowered, my job is to equip you with the tools that you'll need to go on in life and be the best you that you can be.
That's right. And so if you haven't already, go to the My Relationship Movement page, like and follow us, because we don't want you to miss anything that we are doing.
And we got a lot for you.
Oh,
So we're going to
God.
get started.
All right, so last week we opened up with a new series that we started called Unhealthy Soul Ties. And one of the things that we did was we talked about what is a soul tie. So we're going to do a quick recap about what's a soul tie. And Dr. T is going to give you an example. We used something that we talked about that kind of demonstrates what happens when your soul is tied to another one. Lawrence is going to tell you some situations that make you get into a soul tie. He's going to say, this is how you know that you're in a soul tie.
All right, so the example that we gave last week was if you've got 2 pieces of wood and you super glue those 2 pieces of wood together. A day later, you decide you don't want those 2 pieces of wood together, and you go back and you try to just pull the 2 pieces apart. But because you've super glued them, they sat overnight, they've connected to one another.
That's right.
So in order to take them apart so you can have the 2 pieces of wood separate again, you're going to have to rip those pieces apart. And in ripping those pieces apart, part of one piece of wood is still connected to the other piece of wood. And so there's residue left from one piece of wood to the other piece of wood. That's the soul tie. That's the example of a soul tie. It's the residue that's still left from previous relationships, from previous ties that you've had to other people, be it healthy or unhealthy.
That's right.
And so Lawrence is going to talk about the difference between a healthy soul tie and an unhealthy soul tie.
That's right.
Well, a healthy soul tie, quite naturally, is one that's going to bring the best out of you. And I'm just going to be real brief on this because I want to get to the whole meat of the subject tonight. And an unhealthy soul tie is one that you just can't seem to get away from. It's always calling your name. I'll say it. He or she is always calling your name. You seem like you got to keep stalking, or you're at a place where he texts you and you see that text and you say, "Come on over," or he says, "What you doing tonight?" And you feel like you got to still allow him to come over. And the bottom line is, an unhealthy soul tie is just not the thing to be attached to.
That's right. The last thing I'm going to tell you about that, because for those that didn't join the first part, our part 1, we want to make sure you have a foundation for tonight. We talked about 3 things that show you identify a soul tie. We know that soul ties are formed by sex, and we're really going to talk about that tonight. They're formed by sex, but they're maintained not by love, but by lust. So they're maintained by lust. So they form by sex. Sex is what she just talked about. It put those 2 pieces of wood together. But the thing that's keeping this is, we're talking about unhealthy, is not love, it is lust. Secondly, soul ties that are dangerous and unhealthy, they're formed by, we say that they're formed by company. You need company. You feel like you want some companionship, but what maintains them is loneliness. So you're stuck together because you needed some company. Now you're remaining together, not because you guys are each other's security. You're just lonely, right? You just don't want to be alone. The third type of way is that's unhealthy form soul tie is it's formed by insecurity. You have doubts about yourself. Your self-esteem is not where it needs to be. And you know how it's maintained? Manipulation. Right. So that person isn't staying with you and knowing that you are insecure, that you have low self-esteem. And when they're not doing anything to bring you out of that, but they're creating those feelings in you, they make you feel panicky, because this is getting right into what we're going to talk about. Right. They make you feel panicky. They say things that make you think they're threatening to leave you. The thought of you being by yourself, even though they're not happy with you and you're miserable with them, makes you start feeling like you're about to faint. That's manipulation. And so that's one of the things we are going to be talking about tonight. We chose the topic as our subtopic for tonight. When the sex is the addiction. And what we meant by that is it's past you recognizing. I think Lawrence said a couple of months ago, we've been doing this for a while in one of our segments, he said it doesn't take you guys all day or all night to figure out whether somebody's good for you or not, or should I go, should I stay?
Right.
He said a lot of the times you already know that. The issue is in making the decision and acting on it.
Right.
Correct?
No question. Let me say also that one of the things you want to make sure that you do not do is stay in denial about things. Because I was talking to someone just the other day, and I said, you're telling me all these various things. I said, but the truth of the matter, you already know what to do. And so sometimes people just want to hear you say what they already know.
Yep.
And that's because they have a hard time letting go, even though they know that the situation is unhealthy for them.
That's right. And Dr. T talked to us about why is it so hard when you know is to let go. And so what we did, we took this whole thing a second step, and we said, you know what? We talked about some things, but Dr. T, we asked the people. We put a question out there, and today, if you guys saw my post,
Buckle your seatbelts.
you better buckle up, because we're going to ask this question, and we asked it specifically for women. And we did that for a reason, is because Lawrence is going to decode some things. You know what? A lot of times, this is getting ready to get good. A lot of times, as women, we hear what we want to hear, don't we?
Absolutely.
And so we got feedback from men and women, and a lot of them was talking. As a matter of fact, I had to call Lawrence today and say, "Hey, listen, this girl said this, and this guy said this. What? And he was like, "Oh, I could tell you." I said, "Don't tell me, tell the people, because somebody else needs to hear this stuff. Is off the chain." So we're gonna dive right in. The question that we asked. And we said last week, if you can't say ouch, say amen.
Okay.
So earlier this week, I put out a question and I said, why is it that women stay in unhealthy relationships? What in the world is it that makes these women stay? And I want to say once again, you guys were fantastic. I'm going to start because I want Dr. T to give me a little bit more insight about one of my responses. And I like to give credit where it is due. One of the people, a friend of mine, Dr. Tamara Brown, I don't know if she's on tonight, but she called this indulgent emotionalism. And she said there's a lack of emotional control. Honoring and indulging in specific situations or acts that might not be healthy and are counterproductive, as opposed to demanding that the standard be met. In relationships, the expectations and standards are love, honor, commitment, respect, all of which are vital components to securing one's cognitive, behavioral, emotional, relational, and social functioning. We stay simply because of how we feel. And our emotionalism overwhelm our realities, causing us to relax and or to ostracize our standards. This is good, Tamara. We stay because of that. We stay because of how we feel. Our hearts and our minds are aware, but oftentimes powerless to the lure of the indulgent emotionalism and unhealthy soul ties. It's a process. So the first step, she says, is to keep your legs closed.
That's it.
Doing this, and I love how she put it, will recalibrate your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, and your life. Dr. Tamara.
Dr. Tamara, you on it, girl.
That was powerful.
From one Dr. T to
another Dr. T. Y'all on it. So Dr. T, talk to us. And I think you and I had this conversation earlier. A lot of us think how we feel and how we feel are the same thing, and they are not. You told me something, and I thought it was powerful. You said that our mind can trick us because it's thinking we feel something on our skin, and our mind is saying that's how our heart feels. And you said that is not true. Talk to us. Break down these barriers for us. We're going there tonight.
We're going there. Like we talked about last week, I just want to give a real brief recap on what we discussed last week. Last week we talked about how soul ties actually come out of our emotions.
That's right.
And it's caused by our lymphatic system, which creates the chemicals in our bodies that we associate with our feelings.
There you go.
Okay? So when the first thing that happens is when you have an emotion, because an emotion comes before a feeling.
Did you guys hear that?
Feelings come out of our emotions.
Whoa.
What you say?
So when you have an
This is good.
emotion, it literally takes your body about 1/4 of a second to start releasing those chemicals. Those chemicals in turn creates this feeling, and then the feeling allows us to sustain it over a period of time. So when I am angry, angry is an emotion. Bitterness is a feeling. I cannot sustain anger because it's an initial reaction. But what I can sustain is the bitterness that I have developed out of the anger.
Dr. T, stop 1 second. Because you're getting ready to get somebody free. Are you telling me then that a person can be sexual with somebody and initially maybe they love that man? We're going to talk about a woman because I'm a woman. They love that man. And their body start getting that prickly feeling and their heart start racing and, you know, they start getting all this other stuff. But then long after the emotion has left, because you just said that we can't sustain those type of emotions, especially when something is not reiterating it.
Right.
So we're talking about unhealthy. So if that man is mistreating you, is hurting you, you're telling me that the love, the actual emotion can be gone. But because you're going by your body tingling, you still having sex, you feeling a little weak, you're telling me you are misinterpreting what your body is really telling you.
Right. So the longer you continue to stay in that relationship,
Sexually, your mind is thinking what?
The chemicals are being released, and the feel-good endorphins that you have, the oxytocin, the dopamine, and the feel-good chemicals that we have in our bodies that our mind releases. What ends up happening is that stream that those chemicals create in our brains, those thoughts and everything, those stay. So I may look at Lawrence and go, ooh.
You do that anyway.
I do.
He's it with time.
But then we're sexually engaged, and what ends up happening is that continues to reiterate those feelings that I have for him.
So if he's mistreating you, and we need to get this, women, because Dr. T and I talked about this earlier, and we said that, you know, one of the things we like to empower. I mean, that's just something we want to do, and we like to equip. We don't want women walking around, and we'll get to you guys, but we don't want women walking around thinking, I'm staying because I'm in love. I feel, you know, I sin, and I start to feel. What she just said is, if you aren't being reinforced in love, you don't have the capacity by yourself to retain love in its purest form. So what happens is your body cheats you because your mind says, this is not the real thing. It's a prototype. This is not the real thing. It's artificial. And so you're getting artificially stimulated. Come on. And so while you're being artificially stimulated, you tell yourself, well, I'm still getting a tingly feeling. Well, I'm still feeling weak-hearted. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's love.
But the emotion is no longer
But the emotion, which is why somebody can walk right out that door. You can have cooked for him, raised his children, ironed his clothes, and he can be tied up with somebody else. And you're saying, all this love, that man, and I got to bring this to Lawrence Knighton.
Bring it on in. I see where you're going.
You see where I'm going with this? This man, does he or does he not know when the love is gone? You're simply, because we got to all tell the truth, because you want that euphoria.
Right.
Because you want that feel-good feeling.
Yes.
You're saying, I don't love him. I'm going to still have sex with him because I feel as though this is what's keeping us connected. Does or does not that man know whether or not what's going on in that situation? Because a lot of women can think, oh, I got that. Does that man know when this is just those endorphins and these, you know, that's just that feel good? Or does that man recognize it? Because the reason we got to ask that question is because if he knows his love now, he's not going to do anything to compromise that. If he's feeling that love, he's not going to jeopardize that one. We're trying to get y'all to see the difference between unhealthy and healthy soul ties. Does he know or does he not know?
Man, you guys are really on it.
Thank you.
I gotta get y'all on talk show. But on a serious note,
thank you guys for the love.
men always know
Woo!
what
That's
the
it.
real deal is.
That's
Period. End of discussion. And I'm saying that because, again, you have to understand that women, they're always the emotional ones.
Right.
And I say this regularly because I really want the women to really understand this. You become attached, you become emotionally connected, and now it is possible, and I'll say this, well, let me just say this first.
Say it.
Women, you have to understand, God gave you a sixth sense.
Right.
He did.
It's called intuition.
Yes, he did.
And just like men know, you know, but your emotions, what they were just discussing,
That's right.
take control
That's
of
right.
you
That's right.
and cause you to stay in a place that's unhealthy. When you already know, the signs are already on the wall.
Already on the wall.
But you got to really be able to be wise enough to discern what's going on.
Well, we're gonna go ahead
All in our
and
background.
yeah, we are no, but we already out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with what I hit you with earlier. Now we're not gonna be wasting time with this, and I hope that dog isn't aggravating you. That I don't know who he belongs to. But listen, I had a comment from a guy because we opened the floor for questions and comments, and I had to call Lawrence and say, is this for real? Mm-hmm. This woman said this, and then this guy said this, and I need to know something. Dawn Jones, we're about to talk about exactly what you just said. Because she said soul ties are created by words. A woman, and this is Dr. Dawn Jones said, a woman can be planning on leaving, and he says, hey baby, I'm sorry. That's exactly what I'm getting into. One woman told me this, and a man said it. And you gotta, and I had to call my friend and say, help me understand this. This woman said, this is the other woman talking. Now, this isn't the woman that he's with. This is the woman that he has a relationship with. Mm. She said, I would leave him. And I would say that this is unhealthy. I've been watching. However, the reason I'm holding on to him is because he does not want his wife. Listen to me. I am who he comes to. I am who gives him his security, makes him feel good. She said, as a matter of fact, she said in this inbox, he's not even having sex with his wife. He told me that they're so separated, they're not even having sex. He don't even feel nothing for her. Now listen, he's never left his wife and walked out on her. Mm-hmm. But this girl is saying, so I'm in a relationship. That's what she's saying. I'm in a relationship with this man because he's told me that I alone am giving him what he needs. And so if he were so happy at home, if he wouldn't be messing with her. This about to get good because this is what she was saying. And I said, and she was saying, and so I would just say, go ahead. But that man, I'm what he needs. I'm who he wants. So I had to call my friend Lawrence. And I had to say, answer this for me, please. Number one, this woman is saying she's staying with him because he's telling her, if I call him, he there. He always in my bed. We boot up, we go places and this and this and this. And I said, but I'm thinking, but you're saying he's still with his, and I know he's still with his wife, but he's just doing that for the family. And he said they're not together and they're not even sleeping together. Is that true from a male point of view? Because I'll tell you what the man told me, but I had to call you and get some insight about this.
God help me.
Help. Help.
On a serious note, one of the things that ladies, what I want you to really understand as it relates to men, we know what to say. I'm going to start right there.
Whoa.
We all know what to say. We know what you want to hear. And I'm saying most men, I'm not saying all. I like to make sure I say that every week. I'm not saying all, but most men know what to say to get you to stay, attached. All of those things, we know the game. We play them, and that's what we do. And so I'm saying this because this is not anything new. Men have been saying these things for years. I'm leaving my wife. I'm just waiting till the kids get grown. I'm waiting till he gets out of college. It's about another year. They come up with all of these things that says to you that he's leaving. And so because, again, you're emotionally attached, you've had sex, and so now you're sexually attached, you're thinking, okay, he's telling me the truth. But the one thing I want to say right here is he calling you the same thing you're calling him?
Whoa.
Is he taking you around his family?
Whoa.
Are you able to go out in the public? And I say this also, I just want to throw this out there because it just hit me. The thing I want you to always understand, ladies, is even if you get him, there's still going to be some feelings from the family members because they're going to feel like you're the one who made the family break up.
Wow.
And the other part of it is if he cheats with you, he'll probably cheat on you.
Say that.
And I want you to get that in your head too. And so I'm saying all this because I'm going to come back in a few minutes and really dig deep into all this. But I really want women to understand we know what to say. We mastered those games.
Right.
And by now, if I can just be honest with you, ladies, y'all should have understood this by now. I'm saying how many times you got to get played before you really say to yourself, why am I doing this? So let me just ask a question because the question I want to really raise is this right here. What is it about yourself that causes you to stay hooked up with an unavailable man?
Wow.
There has to be some issues with you
Ask that
to
again.
find yourself connected with somebody who's not even yours. There's got to be some intimacy issues with you. You don't love yourself, even though you may say you do. But you cannot love yourself like you say you do if you find yourself attached to somebody who's really unavailable.
Right.
Whoa, and you know what? It goes to what the guy said. I got a direct message about this, and he said, I don't know if you're going to hear from a lot of guys, but I'm going to tell the truth. One of my friends inboxed me and said, well, you know, why do these guys, she was first asking, well, why do women date married men? Why, you know, let's talk about the women. But why do the men love the women outside of their marriage? Why do women falling for it? Why are they doing this? That guy told me, and I was so shocked, and I'm just telling him for the first time. He said, do you want to know why? Because we can. Because we're allowed
That's
to.
all we're going to later
This
on.
man said to me, this what he said, what happens, and now it hurt my feelings to hear, and again, this is tough love. We talked about this. A lot of this stuff we're going to say tonight is not going to feel good to hear. It didn't feel good for me to hear it, but he said,
Y'all show some love anyway.
show some love anyway. Ouch, ouch, your amen. He said, when a man cheats on a woman, she knows it. Knows he's been a dog. I'm not talking, again, we're talking about unhealthy soul ties.
That's
So
all.
I'm not talking about
Unhealthy.
a good man that, you know, something happened, and from that point on, I'm talking about habitual. He said, if I cheat and that woman takes me back and knows that I really don't have any intention, I only have intentions of not getting caught again. He said to me, my respect level for her goes down.
Oh, no question.
See, listen to me.
Wow.
Women
He
don't
said
hear
that.
this.
Women
He
don't
said-
hear that.
You don't get it. It
No.
makes sense to you. You're a
Yeah, it
man.
makes sense to me.
Women
Don't
do not
hear.
hear this. We don't hear.
No,
nobody
you know what
saying
we
this.
hear? He came back.
Yes. Or we hear, he loved our family so much that he's gonna stick to, you know, and he said, we'll tell that woman anything. You know,
We know
baby,
what to say.
he said, we'll say, oh, the fact that you love me so much that you just, I'm gonna get better. I told you I had an ex-husband, every time I was ready to leave him, he put a note on the refrigerator, he put a note on the bathroom mirror, just whatever he thought, you know, just, I know it's hard. I know I'm messing up,
Give
but
him one
you
more chance.
keep sticking it out with me because that appealed to me.
Right.
Soul tie, that appealed to me
He knew
somehow.
how to keep you there.
He knew, and so this man said, when that woman sees that I am completely cheating, I'm inattentive, I'm this and this, and she's telling me I want you anyway, he's saying I don't respect her. So because I don't respect her, do you think it's hard for me to go cheat with another one, lay up? Do you think it's
Absolutely
hard that I can be laid up and text her, baby, what you doing? You didn't answer the... It doesn't matter because the respect is gone. And I think if women knew that they were booed up with an unfaithful, and it's not just the unfaithfulness, an unhealthy soul tie that doesn't even respect them,
Right.
they would not. But we do not. No man is going to walk up to
And
a
we ain't
woman
gonna tell you that.
right. We feeding you, we loving you, sexing
Washing your
you,
clothes,
washing you, raising
your
you.
children.
You're not gonna tell us. I don't respect
This
you.
is good.
Right.
You know, and so somebody, I always say in my
But
head,
it's
somebody got to
the
say it.
part of us is the feeling tie, not the emotion. 'cause
Right.
We can't sustain emotion.
No,
But we
just the
can
feeling.
sustain the feeling that when he walks through that door, he chose me.
So what Dr.
Go back.
Tam just said was, if you close your legs, and Knighton says this all the time, do you want to know where you really stand? So if you know that the love is gone and you need your mind, how you feel to catch up with how you feel, you stop the sex, and then
Right.
you will see what's left here, and
Right.
that will help you.
Let me say this.
This is good. I hope y'all showing some love.
I've said this for a long time, and I'm speaking from experience, and I'm saying to you, ladies, listen to me good. I don't know why y'all don't get this. Steve Harvey said it in his book. I said it in my book way before Steve Harvey said it himself. I'm telling you, if you really want to know what you have in your relationship, stop sex. Matter of fact, don't even start. But see, in our culture, we've been taught that if you don't have sex, it's like I was telling Tracy earlier, in our culture, for women and men, we've been taught that if you don't have sex, there's something wrong with you. But that has, again, messed us up. The Bible has always been plain and concrete as to what we're supposed to be doing. But again, our culture,
That's right.
we have been taught that when you're in a relationship, even if you got to wait 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or whatever, you got to have sex. And what that has done is messed us up tremendously. And what we got to do is get back to the point of understanding, ladies, if you really want to know what your relationship is made out of, keep the legs closed.
But what ends up happening sometimes with women when the relationship is over and he stepped out and he's gone on and he's moved on to the next woman. If you go back and ask a woman, what will she always tell you? You ask, if you had to do things differently this time, what would you do? How would you do things differently? You know, one of the main things that she'll say,
What?
I should have never slept with him.
There you go.
I should have waited
Right.
to sleep with him.
Right.
Either I should have never slept with him or I should have waited longer to
Mhm.
sleep with him to see what his intention was.
That's right. That's right.
And so we end up beating ourselves up.
Listen, if you just logged on, press the share button,
Please
because
do.
what I can promise you is you're listening and you're thinking about, I need this, my friends need
Yes.
this, my cousin needs this, somebody needs to hear this, my boyfriend need to hear this, somebody needs to hear this. So do us a favor, press that share button, let us know that you guys are helping us to spread this message. We don't want anything from you guys except for you to be free. We really, really do. Now, we're going to put some questions out there because this is what we're doing tonight.
Y'all write in some questions.
I asked, no, not yet. We're not at that segment, not yet. We're going to answer what's been put on the table. We got to address this. So, somebody asked the question, why do women date married men? Well, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons, and I'll let everybody else weigh in. Women that date married men, somewhere, and Dr. T can speak to this psychologically, somewhere there is a need for control and power and influence. And what happens is, say your life isn't hitting on anything, but you feel like, oh, I can pull somebody away from somebody. I think that's powerful. Look at how unhealthy this is, that this is the thing that you're choosing to use. You feel like, oh, look at kind of power. And so what happens is that power trip is, oh, he said he at home, they watch that movie night. Let me text him.
Okay.
I need to see you now. Or you send a half naked picture to get him out the house. Pull him, man, he
I'm
running.
gonna go to Walmart. I'm going to Walmart.
You just, baby, did you want something? Let me go bring it. And an hour
got
later,
thirsty.
an hour later,
An hour, 2 hours.
2 hours later, he's still gone.
I was talking to John.
But what happens? That man walk back in the door and you saying Walmart, right? But then you just kind of let it go
Let it go.
and just move on to the next thing. So why do women date married? Because we're not just gonna bash women. We don't bash men at all. But we're not just gonna put that on them.
Right.
Women will do that because they are seeking control and power. Maybe they feel like, listen, other things in my life, you know, I need this attention. I'm not getting it. This man happens to be the one to get it, and I've decided I want it from him. And so again, though, that's manipulation. You need to know, I just said that insecurity forms unhealthy soul ties.
Right.
An insecure woman reaches for something that isn't hers and seeks to have it. I don't want something that belongs to somebody else. I want it to come to me freely. I want to say, are you unattached? Are you not? Now I will not. That's just not what I'm going to do, because somewhere you've made the decision, and we're going to share.
But
Let me,
when I don't have to be who I really am. I can send my representative because you're only with me for a little while.
For a little
And then
while.
I'm sending you back away.
You're right.
Cornelius Barber gave a good comment right here. He said it's about getting something you can't have, and when you get it, you don't really want it.
Oh, wow.
But you enjoy the process.
Wow.
Bruh, I hear you on that.
Wow. That's good.
But what I'm saying, I want to add on that on a serious note, because again, it's for a man in most instances. Again, I'm not talking for all men. It's the challenge.
Right.
Matter of fact, as she said earlier, when you allow us to do it, that's it's the process. Like
Yeah.
Cornelius Barber said here,
Yeah.
it's the process.
Right.
If you allow us to come over and you know what our situations are rather. It's a game for us. If I can put it the other way,
Right.
it's really a game for
Right.
So basically, we're giving you permission to mistreat us.
Oh, yeah, for
And
sure.
to disrespect, and that's the part that
But we don't
women
look at it
don't
like
get.
that.
Right, and that's
Men
and
don't
the
look at it
women
as
don't.
mistreating.
Right, and that's why a woman can be crying to her man, "Why are you mistreating me?" And he's saying, "I'm not mistreating
I'm
you."
not
Right. What are you talking about?
I'm doing what you allow me to do.
Right. So it must somewhere it's okay. And so and you know, we've talked about this before, and somewhere what they say is
this is
all I
crazy.
gotta do is buy you some stuff, spend a little time with you, you'll get settled, comfortable,
Right.
like Dr. Tam was saying earlier, you'll fall back into that, and then pretty soon you'll relax your standards. That's what she said.
Right.
You'll get back into that euphoria of, I mean, it's fine, I know him, he gonna be a man,
Right.
whatever. What?
But at
We
the same
teach
time,
people
How
how
to
to
treat
treat us.
you.
but at the same time, back to what you were saying earlier, women don't realize it, but we do look at you from a different perspective, because we're saying to ourselves, if you allow me to cheat with you while I'm married,
will I really marry you?
Oh, wow.
Because the
That
truth of
is
the matter
the
is,
Wow.
when a man is really in a situation like that, more than likely, I'm not saying all, but there are some men who will go on and marry him. But in most instances, they're not going to marry him because in a man's mind, he's saying, well, if she cheated while I was married, what makes me think that if I marry her, that she won't do the same thing with another man? So what we have to do is make sure, ladies, that you understand that even though he's
good.
cheating with you, 9 times out of 10, he probably ain't going to marry you.
Wow.
That's good. Listen, I asked a question today, why do women stay in unhealthy relationships? And I'm going to put this out there. One person says, it's hoping that he'll change. It's having a good relationship with their family. Not even him. You said that. We didn't maintain anything with us, but I've developed a relationship with your family because I want my child, this person said, to have both of his parents in the household while he's growing up. Is that relevant? Is that enough substance? And we're talking about, because she answered, this is why I'm in an unhealthy relationship and this is why I'm staying
So
here.
she's
I
staying
hope he'll stay.
married because.
Oh, man, we got to, go ahead.
What?
No, I was going to say, we got to address this one before we get up.
Oh, okay,
It says,
okay.
what if you don't know he's married? Let me handle that one right there.
Okay, we're cutting it.
So she's
so
staying
she's saying,
married, even though she knows he's cheating. She's staying married to him because of the children.
right, she's saying,
Okay.
and she didn't say if she was married. I think she's just with him. They've been together. They have kids together.
Okay.
But she's saying, I know it's unhealthy. I hope he'll change. I have a good relationship with his family.
Okay.
And I want my children to grow up with both of their parents in the house.
Okay, number one, you cannot change someone.
You cannot change
He
them.
has to have the desire to change. He has to have the motivation to change. He has to want to change. And if he hasn't done any of that, then you can't make him change.
Okay?
Number two, you have a good relationship with his family, which means if you have a good relationship with his family and he's not respecting you enough to change, to move the relationship forward, then you'll still have a good relationship
right.
with his parents
That's
or
right.
his family once the relationship is over. He is not the deciding factor.
There you go. That's right.
Number three, children can sense when their parents are not together.
Absolutely.
That actually ends up making them
There you go.
worse than
Then
better
better.
in the end.
There you go.
Because then they grow up seeing the dysfunction in the family,
That's right.
not understanding what is dysfunctional, and
Right.
they think it's normal
That's
for mom
right.
to sleep in one bedroom, dad to sleep in the other.
Right.
They think it's normal for my parents not to be able to have a conversation at each other, but now they're shouting every time they try to talk to each
Right.
other, they're cussing each other out.
Right.
They think it's normal that my dad beats up on my mom or whatever the case may be. They think it's normal that we take a vacation by ourselves and dad goes on vacation by himself.
So are we also saying that the unhealthiness in this is that child or those children that's growing up in this situation, you're basically saying, son, I'm teaching you that it's okay to be this kind of man because you're going to find this
Right.
kind of woman
Sure.
that'll put up with it.
The flip
That's
side
not
is
healthy.
with the daughter. It's okay to allow a man to treat you this way because mommy allowed daddy to treat you this way.
Listen, ladies, guys, because sometimes guys don't even know how their actions are affecting the children and everybody else. I used to always say, even, I was married before I got divorced, I said, listen, love me enough to leave me.
Absolutely.
If this is not it, and sometimes though, I had to grow past, why would he leave when I'm making it easy to stay? It's unhealthy, it got detrimental, it got to the place where I was going to die. And I
Right.
had to say, this man is not going anywhere.
Right.
So let me stop using that, because ladies, let's just tell the truth. We use
Love
that as a
yourself
cop.
enough to survive.
We use that as a cop out.
Yeah.
He's not leaving. And so I had to finally say, I'm raising boys. And I cannot wake up and I cannot close my eyes at night knowing that I'm training these boys that it's okay to do somebody like this.
Let me say, so we can clear the air on something else also. Now we're not saying in this conversation tonight that, because Miss Debbie Stephen has a comment on here that not wanting to give up on him, everyone makes mistakes, shouldn't you give him the opportunity to do better?
Right.
We're not saying,
Right. Talking about unhealthy.
we're talking about unhealthy soul ties
habitual
tonight.
things, right.
And at the same time, I definitely believe that anybody can, can do
change.
better.
Change.
Anybody
That's
can
right.
do better.
If they want
But
to.
our main discussion is about unhealthy soul
Right.
ties.
Right.
So with that being said, a lot of times you have to understand the difference between love and attachment.
Oh, that's good.
Because
Say
the
it,
difference
say it,
between
say it.
love and love brings people together.
Right.
Love is about passion,
Right.
That's right.
intimacy, emotional and physical intimacy.
and attachment is about safety, security, stability,
Comfort.
and so comfort.
Right.
And so a lot of times we try to make attachment love, but there's a big difference
that's
between the
good.
two.
That's
And I think
good.
that sometimes people stay in those type of situations because they're thinking it's love, but really it's just the stability or the safety or whatever you want to say. Because we got to get to the point of understanding that there is a big difference. And watch this now, it is possible for a person to, how can I say this, to be in love and to possibly even be attached. Now let me say what I mean by that. Because, we're talking about this unhealthy soul tie, so I'm going to put this clear. So if a man is cheating with a girl across the street, and then he has the attachment at home, or she has the attachment at home because she's staying there dealing with all this stuff. And I guess what I'm saying is, and the woman who he's messing with can be in love with him. Well, I don't really say in love with him, but has that type of really deep emotion for him, and he could possibly be in love with her.
Right.
But because he has children, and like sometimes what men even do, they want to be there because they may have grew up without their kids in the their dads in the house rather.
Right.
So they stay there because of the attachment, but they're not in love. But they may be in love with old girl across the street, but he's not going to leave for the most part because he had in his mind, I don't want my boys to grow up like this. So he deals with this situation with being with the side chick, if you will, because it takes his mind off of the maybe the disillusionment, or well, I guess I should say it takes his mind off of the stuff that he's dealing with at home.
Wow. Wow.
And we never know how those unhealthy soul ties end up being generational. The influence of those unhealthy soul ties.
Right.
Because when we talk about the children, like the young lady was asking, I'm still attached to this man because I don't want my kids to grow up without him, whatever the case may be. But what ends up happening is we end up allowing our children to end up not understanding what healthy relationships look like.
Oh, that's good.
We don't teach them that.
Right.
So as a result, there's so much dysfunction that goes from one generation to the next
another.
because of our inability as parents, because of our inability as adults to break those unhealthy soul ties.
That's right. And so again, so that you're clear, this girl is not married. She's just, she's with somebody. She's been with them a long time. And so, again, just to reiterate, we're talking about unhealthy soul ties. So we're not talking about an otherwise decent marriage where, there's a mistake. You guys come together, you get counseling.
That's a whole other show.
That's not this show. We are just hitting on, he's been cheating on you.
Right.
You found out, you forgave him, you came back, you left him, but you came back, and it's unhealthy.
Right.
And so somewhere, all the residue from that, his behavior hasn't changed. And Lawrence said something, he just said, we'll learn, you guys, and we'll know what works for you. We know how long to play this. We're not, right. And so, because we need the comfort of what's familiar. Now, we're going to take, and a lot of you guys have added some great stuff, and we are going to, first of all, if you just joined, share. Press the share button, because I'm sure you guys know somebody that needs to hear this, and maybe you're saying, I try to tell my coworker that, I was trying to tell my sister that, but she needs to hear you guys say it. Share this on your page. Help us spread this love. Help us spread this information, because we really hope that we're setting some mindsets free on tonight. Now, you had a question that a lady asked, and you said you were going to take it. The question was, what if you don't know he's married, and you find out later, then there's a soul tie, and it's not easy to break, but you want out. So you didn't know he was married. Now you know. Talk to us. What happened?
I guess the first question.
How do you know?
I want to raise. First question I want to raise is how can you get into a relationship with a man for any length of time and not know he's married?
Right.
That's the first question. That's the first question. Now let me go a little further.
He's not that good, is he?
I mean,
Nobody that good. Well, I don't know.
I mean, do you not? Okay, if you're in this relationship, let me just say, if you're in this relationship, and I'm saying, I don't care if you're two single people. If you're in a relationship with a man and he has his own place, hint number one, if you can't go over there, that's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
You're not the only one.
Right.
Y'all can't go out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
I'm trying to figure out how, I guess in my mind, I'm even trying to just fathom how in the world can you be in a relationship with somebody and not know they're married? Because
No, we know you're not in it. Listen,
I'm not talking- when I say you, when
you're
I say
helping
you, I'm
us
just
help.
saying,
You
yeah.
are helping us help
I'm
somebody else.
This is a broad spectrum.
Right, you helping us. So listen, we had about 5 people that just joined. Number 1, share the video. Number 2, we are. Thank you guys for the love. Boy, we going in tonight. All of you guys that just joined. The question was, and we're taking live questions. Was, what if you don't know he's married? We're only talking about unhealthy soul ties tonight.
Right,
So if you guys
unhealthy.
just joined, we're not talking about good marriages and somebody went astray, but you guys went to Jesus, went to counseling, went to each other,
Right.
and we're talking about things that are
Unhealthy.
unhealthy. Somebody asked, what if you didn't know he was married? Because a question was, we just answered a question about why do men allow themselves to, why do women go after married men? And we gave the answer. If you missed it, you need to go back and watch this show. And so this question is, but what if you don't know he's married? Then you find out later, but you've already got a soul tie. You've been sleeping with him, you've been with him, and now it's hard to break and you want to get out. Talk to
Yeah,
us.
the other part of it is,
Oh, and his answer was, how in the world do you not know that he's
That he was
married?
but that's not even, we can even go a little further. It don't even have to be a married man. In a relationship, it can be a guy who says he's single. So the question becomes, how do you not know that a guy doesn't have another woman?
Well, what are the signs?
Yeah.
Let's
So
assume
I'm
that
gonna
they
deal with
don't
the signs.
know.
I'm gonna deal with the signs.
Come on now.
One of the things that I want ladies to understand is, and then we got to do a segment on this. You got to know the right questions to
To ask.
Right,
That's the first thing.
Right.
Because see, if I can just be honest, women could be sometimes so needy
Woo!
that you just ignore
Whoa,
everything.
easy.
You ignore every sign available that he has somebody else, that he's married. Because if you're in a relationship and you're really getting to know this person, the first thing, as the other T. Tamara said,
Tamara.
keep your legs closed. That's
Keep-
the first
keep
thing.
closed.
Keep the legs closed, okay? Close the candy store. I'll say it like that. That's in my book. Close the candy store.
Right.
But anyway, most times, what I've discovered lately is most times men who have their own place, they never ever invite the woman to their house. They always want to come to your place.
Right.
Sign number 1, handwriting on the wall. If you can't go to his house, that's because he's got somebody else that's going to creep over there at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock when he leaves your house. Trust me when I tell you that. I've been a man. I know the game. Play the game. Got a trophy and a T-shirt. I'll bring the T-shirt to show you if I need you.
I see some mad love on this screen.
And I'm saying, so that's the first sign. The
Uh-huh.
second sign is, if he doesn't take you around to meet family, to meet friends, if he doesn't introduce you the same way you're trying to introduce him, because we're so quick, ladies, to say my boo, my babe, but he ain't saying none of that about you.
Oh.
You got pictures up on your Facebook. Matter of fact, he don't even want you to put no pictures up on him.
Oh, no.
On
Right,
your
right,
right.
Facebook page,
Right.
because that's another sign.
Unless he
Man,
gets
I can give you 1,000 signs
This
to
is
help you
good.
understand when a man is really into somebody else. And I said this earlier on my post. I said, listen, if, how did I say it on the post this morning? I said,
If you won't put a ring on
I said, yeah, if you won't put a ring on it and say I do, then you're really not his boyfriend. You're just
You're
next.
feeling that it's girl.
Girl.
You're really not his girlfriend, rather. You're really the next one in line, or something like that.
Right.
It said. But it's a true statement because, again, we have a tendency, men. I'm talking from a man perspective now.
Right.
We know how to hide stuff if we want to hide it.
Right.
We know how to play
Right.
stuff off and make you think we ain't got no husband, no wife, no
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. We'd come over to the house and then we say stuff like, well, I got to go home, I got to go to work in the morning, I got to go to sleep early. Man, listen, I leave one house back in my days and go home and, 12, 1 o'clock, somebody come over. Man, that's old school stuff, man. And I'm saying, ladies, you got to be wise enough to really discern this stuff. If he's not spending time with you,
That's
taking you out in
right.
public, letting you come to his house, letting you meet his family, his friends,
Right.
how's he introduce you to his friends,
Right.
all of those things are key. And let me say something else to ladies now, because I'm dealing with a lot of this lately too. And I'm saying to ladies now, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, if you got a man and he ain't trying to hug you, ain't trying to kiss you, ain't trying to do none of that, you better check the
Woo! Mercy.
Ouch.
the sugar bowl, if you will.
Oh.
That's a whole other conversation. I didn't mean to go there, but it just made me think about it.
Oh.
But you got to be wise enough to see these
See the
things
signs.
and not ignore the signs that's right on the wall. And I'm still trying to understand, how do you not know a man is married? But that's a whole other question. I know you're asking for somebody
No,
else.
this is good. And I call this section asking for a friend. So Darren said something. He said, we asked the question, somebody asked the question, in our inbox, why do women cheat with married men? He said because in their head, married men are safe because you can't be cheated on. So in their head, but listen, women, what that is saying. And I know it sounds crazy. Nobody, and I'm telling you, we're helping the people because nobody sits here and says, listen, let me just say this to you in plain English. Because we wish somebody would have just sat down and said some of this stuff to us. You're saying, well, I can't be cheated on because he's married. What you're saying to yourself is, I've decided to be a lifetime side piece. I have decided
And I'm okay with
that I don't deserve the full respect. I need you to hear that this is what you're saying. I have decided, especially if I have kids, that my kids don't deserve to see me in a wholesome relationship where this man doesn't have to go out of town to take me out. Like, we can't ever go out in public where I have to text him first before I call him and see if he can talk. You deserve. Somewhere you're saying, I do not deserve. So I'm okay. At least I know where he is. At least I know who he's with.
Hey, I got to address this later. I have to address this. This lady has on here, men are slick, but women are slicker.
Woo!
Hush this now. I want you to hear me on this. Because see, this is going to get good right here.
Uh-oh.
It says, men are slick, but women are slicker. Let me help you understand something.
Uh-oh.
Men don't get no bad reputation for going out sleeping with a whole lot of people.
There you go.
Y'all do. So you can't be slicker. So if you
Right.
go out thinking you're being slick, you're only slicking yourself because the only thing you're doing, you're getting played.
Right. Let me tell you something. And we talked about this earlier.
Oh, God.
Let me tell y'all about the screenshot mentality.
Oh,
Huh?
get it.
So, it goes back to what he's saying. This is why we're calling this unhealthy soul ties. He just said, and it has happened. Men can be with these women, send them a picture of them all laid rear back. That picture can get out. Other women will be saying, woo,
Right.
goodness,
I want him.
that's what he working with.
Let me get
That
a picture of
woman
that.
can send a picture out to somebody that she thinks she's in a relationship with, even though no
I'm going to see it too.
if he sends it out, everybody that see it is gonna label her. Right. She's gonna get labeled. And we have to say this because when we put this stuff in front of us, it helps us make better decisions. So, thank you
This
for
is
that.
good.
Listen, we know we're going in today. Somebody said, how do you handle being in a marriage that the family treats the ex-girlfriend like she's
saw
the
that.
wife that your husband has children from? She's at the functions, they're carrying on with her, but should you not expect your husband to address that?
I think a lot of that has to do with a sense of sometimes be a little bit of insecurity to an extent.
Right.
Because you got to understand, if a person has been married to whoever for some years, because they're not together, that does not mean that she has to abandon her relationship with her family that she
That's
had. Sort of built that relationship with through the course of the years.
Right.
You have to be woman enough and be secure enough with your man to be okay with her being at the function, and there's still, because if you and him break up or separate, hopefully you'll still have that type of relationship with his family that they look at you in a special light. Because I'm saying from experience,
Right.
I'm still family with my ex. I'm family, so I don't. There's nothing that Tracy is uneasy about.
Uneasy at
And as a
all.
matter of fact, she came over to the house one day and used our car. It's no big deal because it's just what it is.
Right.
And it's not a thing where I'm being disrespectful because I let her know what the deal was or whatever. It's just that sometimes when you build those relationships with the families,
Right.
you can't expect the families just fall out with her because y'all not together. That's immaturity.
Right.
You have to be secure enough with yourself to say, you know what? Because again, to me that's a sign of maturity. That's all I'll say. It's a sign
All
of
right.
maturity.
So the question that was asked, because we said we promised to cover it all.
Show some love, y'all.
Show some love on this screen and press share if you have not already. I asked the question, why do women stay in unhealthy relationships? And you're welcome to comment below. Today we got these comments on Instagram. I feel that women or even people stay in healthy relationships because, number one, there's a lack of self-esteem and identity. It's something about them being connected to that person that validates who they are unsure about in their own selves. And that's powerful. My friend Toya said this. She said, and then fear that whatever is lacking or being provided in that unhealthy relationship relationship, they think it's manageable, and they would rather deal with the known rather than the unknown. What do you think about that?
And it's still denial. Either way
But
you
it's
look at it,
still
it's
denial.
still denial. And what they're choosing to do is stay in denial instead of addressing the delayed development of their emotions and eventually their feelings.
That's
So
right.
I'm going to stay comfortable where I am in this little box instead of developing myself as an individual to learn how to manage my emotions and my feelings, which allows me to be open to other people and other experiences.
That's good. The second thing, my cousin Melissa from Florida, she added something. She said, women stay in unhealthy relationships, and we said this, they don't realize it's unhealthy. To them, it's normal. And I think you said that the other day to me, that, you know, people literally think that this is just a normal way. This is the way it goes. And she said they don't feel like they can do better. They feel like this is what love is. I think the way that I'm being treated, and again, this goes back to what we've been pushing this whole time in the movement. I'm worth the investment. Somewhere you've said, this man is cheating on me. He's cheated on me numerous times. I've caught him. I've stayed. I'm not getting what I need. I'm not healthy mentally. I have to seek happiness somewhere else. I have to leave my home just to feel free and happy. But somewhere, I feel like this is the best that I can do.
Yeah.
What do you do to speak to that?
One of the things that we have to do as a man, as a woman, is tell ourselves that we deserve better. We shoot ourselves in the foot. We blindfold ourselves. We end up throwing ourselves off the cliff.
Wow.
Because we do not establish our own boundaries.
That's a good one.
And we do not allow others to meet our expectations. So what we end up doing is lowering our expectations of people and allowing them to treat us any type of way instead of demanding the respect, instead of demanding the way that we want to be treated.
That's right.
And we say it time and time again. We teach people how to treat
treat
us.
us.
So if you decide that the way that you're treating me is fine and I'm okay with it, I'm going to continue to allow
treat you
you
like that. That's
to
right.
do that. Instead of saying, you know what? I don't like it when you come home at 2 o'clock.
I see the love. Thank you, guys.
I don't like it when you treat me this way.
Right.
I don't like it when you forget my birthday. I don't
Right.
like it when you forget our anniversary. I don't like it when you don't take our children with you to the
Well,
park
how
or
do I
whatever the
forget
case may be.
Right.
So we end up allowing people to treat us and disrespect us.
Disrespect.
And in the end, what ends up happening is we beat ourselves up.
Right.
When the relationship is over, when finally that person walks out.
They walk out and you're left. They walked out.
They
can spring back, but because you just allowed yourself to be taken from the remnants of what's left. Now you got to figure out, not while you're in your prime and can be resilient, when you're at the pieces. I want to make sure we address all of these. My friend Jackie said, we stay in unhealthy relationships because we suffer from fear and learned helplessness. Fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, the what if, the sense of powerlessness. Have a I can't mentality. I can't do better. I can't do this without him. So they stay and suffer the mental and oftentimes physical abuse of fear.
Wow.
Fear has a physical abuse. That's powerful, Jackie, and that is true. That is true. The last thing, I think we had somebody that sent us another message, and if you guys haven't shared this already, do me a favor and share it. We promised that we were going to address why people stay in these relationships. Somebody said, sad to say, but women stay in unhealthy relationships because of shame. They hope that he'll change, which really means he has a sincere heart and that he'll actually do it. But it's like giving a person the benefit of a doubt. But how long do you do this to the individual? Some people hold on to hope too long.
The thing is, I think one of the things that we have to really understand, until we develop a healthy relationship first with God, I've got to throw this out there.
That's right.
Because we've been talking some really serious stuff tonight, but
Right.
it really all boils down to self-love.
That's right.
Because if I don't love self,
That's right.
I can't expect anybody else to love me.
There you go.
And I think that once you develop that relationship with God, He helps you to see who you are. Then you start to say to yourself, you know what, I am valued.
That's right.
Right.
But what people try to do is try to make a woman or a man make them feel better about themselves.
Right.
And I use this analogy all the time, and I really honestly believe this, that when God got ready to give Adam Eve, Adam didn't even know he needed a woman. He was already whole by himself.
Yep.
So until we're whole, but what we do, we want to take half of us and try to connect with somebody else and hope that half makes a whole. But unless you're whole by yourself,
right.
unless you're whole by yourself,
That's right.
I gotta say it again, unless you're a whole person by yourself,
That's right.
nobody else can make you happy. And so
Nobody.
you'll stay in relationships that are damaging, that are toxic, that are killing you because you're trying to fill a void that only God can fill.
That's
Right.
powerful. Nicole, first of all, thank you for being one of our biggest supporters. You
Woo,
are
woo,
always,
what's up,
we're
Nicole?
going to give you a special shout out. You share everything. You
And they're
always
beautiful
come in
women.
and you.
I ain't seen her on here
Oh,
tonight.
mercy. So anyway, Nicole, talk about my grandmother. Nicole, a lot of the things you said was addressed already, but one of the things you said that people stay in unhealthy relationships because they don't want to admit that they've made a bad choice or was a part of something that failed.
Failed.
I'm going to tell you, I'm a
Yeah.
personal
Oh, yeah, yeah.
witness to that. I did not want to leave that unhealthy soul tie because I didn't want it to be said that I failed.
That's
I'm
right.
the type of woman
That's
that
right.
if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be great. I want to be great at it. I don't want to half do it. And I put so much preparation into the relationship and I defended it to people. They were
Right.
trying to tell me stuff and I was
Oh, yeah.
saying, oh no, I got this. Oh, I'm marrying him. I'm going to be with him. We together and this and that. So somewhere I didn't want to go back and say, this
I messed
flunk,
up.
I messed up. I chose wrong. I spent that money on that wedding. We holding on to receipts, but I spent this much on the wedding. Listen, but guess what? How much? My piece cost more than that. It cost way more than what I spent, and so somewhere I had to get past that failure. Guess what? We're human. Sometimes we flunk. And we fail. The last thing that we're going to do, and you guys have been great. This has been a phenomenal night. We're not going to leave without telling you, and we're going to shoot it around like we did last time. How do you break an unhealthy soul tie? The first thing Dr. T is going to talk about is the forgiveness factor. That's what I'm calling it, for yourself and for that other person.
Ooh, yeah, because forgiveness is not necessarily for you. I mean, for the other person, it is for you. Unforgiveness, and this is a famous quote, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Oh,
You know, you have to first forgive yourself for anything that you've done. You have to ask yourself, what is it that I need to forgive myself first
That's right.
for? And that's real hard for women to do.
That's right.
Because when a relationship goes sour, one of the main things that we look at is, oh, he cheated, he did this, he did that. But at the same time, I forgive him for stepping out. And I forgive myself for being angry with him
Right.
for stepping out.
Releasing
And that's
that.
and that's one of the things that we miss is that we forget to release ourselves.
That's right.
So we end up holding ourselves hostage and not allowing ourselves to grow out of the relationship, because every relationship either is a lesson or it's a blessing.
that's right.
So when it's a lesson, you learn from it,
That's
so
right.
that the next relationship can truly be the
A
blessing.
That's good.
But what ends up happening is we hold ourselves hostage in the lesson, not learning the lesson, and not allowing ourselves to advance to the blessing.
That's
So
powerful.
forgiveness, it goes two ways. We have to forgive ourselves, and we have to forgive the other person.
So that was the first one. I'm going to deal with the second one. It was my favorite last week, and it still is. You want to break a soul tie? Disassociate yourself with the tangible things that keep you connected with that person.
Right.
Now, ladies, let me tell you what that means. And even guys, get rid of those pictures of that person off your phone.
Right.
You're gazing at them, still remembering when y'all had to sneak off because he was married to the beach,
Oh,
and
say
you
that,
know,
say
or
that,
you
say
you know,
that.
or you holding on to he bought you some lingerie, and or he sent you this sweet flower and a sweet card attached, or the pendant that you're wearing. He got that, those things, but he bought this ring. He spent so much money on it. I'm talking about unhealthy relationships.
Unhealthy.
Right.
These are reminders. When you allow yourself to keep tangible items from a person that has been unhealthy and is tied to you unhealthy,
Right.
what you're doing is you're creating. You keep that memory alive. You're keeping that fire burning.
Feelings.
You're keeping that
Feelings.
right.
And the biology,
What
the
happens is,
chemicals.
so you touch that little necklace, you look at that ring, and you get a sense of euphoria. I'm holding on to this stuff
That's it.
because of
That's
love. And she's just saying, if it's unhealthy, there was no love anymore that was maintaining it. It was love, need, and sometimes obligation. So if you want to break a soul tie, those things that create that feel good feeling, when I'm talking about, it's unhealthy,
Right.
get rid of those things, those cards that you look, those little, what do we make? You know how we make those little videos or those little photo galleries and we can sit back and reminisce over the good old days. What has happened has happened. That time, whether you want to hold on to it or not, is not coming back tomorrow. So I'm talking about, again, unhealthy soul ties. Get rid. Those are what we call triggers. They are triggering you even after your brain is saying, we're past this, we're gone. But you have these little triggers that you can always reach back into and pull them up, and they keep you tied.
Do an internal evaluation if you want to help rid yourself of unhealthy soul ties.
That's good.
And when I talk about internal self-evaluation, start asking yourself some questions. Why am I attached like I am? And you may even want to write it down because it may help you to sort of decipher, to sort of disseminate between why, and really bring some reality to yourself, I guess I should say. And then you want to start praying over it. Start asking God to help you to release those things that's causing you to stay attached. Because the more you indulge in it, the worse it gets.
That's
so you
right.
want to try to get to the point where you disassociate, like she said, and the more you disassociate, the easier it becomes.
And then the third thing, and this is a big one too, any rash vows that you made in these unhealthy soul ties, you have to denounce them. Now, I know you guys are asking, I didn't make any rash vows. When you told that man, I'll never leave you. I'm talking about unhealthy. So you were holding yourself hostage when you told that man, this belongs to you and you only. First of all, if he was married, he doesn't belong to you and you only. So you made a rash vow, but this just for you. Those are rash vows, or when you say no matter what, and they pulled the Ike and Tina on you. Everybody left me. Everybody gave up. And you trying to be the hero, not me. I don't care what you do. My love will stand. We're talking about unhealthy soul ties. When you know it's unhealthy, when it stripped you of almost everything you have, you need to denounce those crazy vows. And then that man will hold you hostage to them. He'll be saying, babe, I thought you said, you told me that no matter where I look, it's me and you forever. You said that. And then you sit there and say, I did. Say, listen, denounce that foolishness.
You declared it.
You declared it. Let
it.
that go. The last thing that we're going to say, you want to get rid of a soul tie, you speak and declare that it is broken. Because I said this to you the last week. When you say it, your ears hear it. It translates into your mind that this is a repeated thought. We always say that habits can be made or broken after 21-day cycle. Every day you have to stand up and say, oh, that text came in. No, I declare that soul tie is broken. You start getting that jittery feeling and you saying, oh, I'm falling in love. Hey, Tracy just told you that wasn't love. Your body started to jump. Get that under control, baby. Push that back, pull that back in, declare it broken. And what will happen is, I said this last week, let's show you how this happens. Because you're training, she said something, but we got to realize it goes deeper. You teach people how to treat you. Guess what? You teach yourself how to allow yourself to be treated.
Exactly.
So what happens is, you're saying, I'm declaring that's broken, I'm not going to trigger. I see him, and the first time I see him, I'm getting weak, and I'm trying to get his attention. But I'm saying it's broken. Second time, he could notice me, maybe not. Third time, he was even in the room, did not notice. Fourth time, stop calling my phone. Fifth time, blocked. What will happen is, as you get rid of those things that you were keeping, you get stronger because your mind is saying, wait a minute, she's doing something different. So I don't have to, I don't get tingly anymore. I don't feel jittery anymore. I don't want to jump in his bed.
Different chemicals are being released.
And let me tell you what else happens. Something happened to your self-esteem, baby. You start saying, you know what, wait a minute. This man been doing this all this time, and since I finally got past him, I kind of think I'm all that. I'm not going to mess up somebody that could want this queen because you want to side chick me. I'm not doing that. We have a shirt we wore at Shameless Plug last week that says, I am worth the investment. And if you haven't gotten your shirt yet, it's to remind yourself, listen. And you know what? Pay for the shirt, because when you pay for something, when you put your effort and your time in it, it will invest. You're investing in yourself. You're going to treat it. You're going to say it a little better. So I put on that shirt sometimes when I'm not feeling the best, when I feel like, oh my God, hey, wait a minute. I'm worth the investment. And Tracy had on the shirt that says, not this year. I might have let them do this. I might have let her act like this. I might have put up with that, but not this year. You know why? Because my peace matters to me. And that's what we have to say tonight. Like I got mad.
You are worth the investment.
You are.
But you have to declare it, say it. We definitely appreciate y'all coming on tonight.
If y'all did, y'all can comment. Let us know that this helped you guys. Share it. You know, even if you don't say it to us now, you can throw some love on the screen. But just let us know that this was something. And if you guys have things that you want us to address, our next series, inbox us. You can go to myrelationshipmovement.com, or you can go to My Relationship Movement on Facebook, or you can even go to Instagram. Let us know.
Hey, we want to thank all of you coming on. Give a few shouts out. Cheryl Thompson-Smith, Lynette, Ed Brinson, Pastor Ed down in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, listen, we just got a call yesterday, Pastor Ed Brinson. We're doing a marriage retreat at the Westin Fort Lauderdale, July 21st, 22nd. May want to bring some of your married couples over. Corey Robinson, Belinda Smith, Rod Garner, my good friend. Good, appreciate y'all coming on. Elisa.
Hey, Kim.
Debbie Stevens, Canoris Colvin. Anyway, to everybody, shout out. Appreciate all y'all.
Thank you guys. Tia, watching all the way from Carolina. Thank you. I saw you. I appreciate you guys' feedback. If you missed some of the show, you can go back to our page. If you know people and you're saying, oh, my aunt needs to hear this, my cousin, my sister, my best friend needs to hear this, tomorrow it will be on. If they're not on Facebook, it will be on YouTube tomorrow. You can just go to YouTube, to the My Relationship Movement page, and subscribe and send that video to anybody that you know could use a dose of breaking ties, that want to get free unhealthy soul ties. Thank you guys for your support, and we appreciate you. And don't forget one thing. Say to yourself every day that you get
Every day.
Every day. I am worth the investment. Thank you guys.
Good night.
While we're waiting for you to go, you guys can show some love.
Show some love. Show some love. Show some love.